If you put your trust on people who don't even trust themselves, then it's your funeral. And sometimes literally, because sometimes trusting a trustworthy person could end up in your demise. Because remember, even the devil was once an angel. Well, you may be asking, if I don't trust anyone in my life, then what is my life? Well, newsflash, you don't actually need to trust people in order to love and accept them just the way they are. You don't need to trust them. You don't need to give them this responsibility in order to fulfill your wishes. And most certainly, you don't need to be vulnerable for no good reason. And in this video, we're going to talk about why you should trust yourself and your own path in life, and why you should unburden other people from your need to receive from them what they can't give you. Don't worry, this is not going to be some sort of a love block, an intimacy block, or the end of your meaningful connections with other people. In fact, this is going to help your relationships by slowly moving you to emotional freedom and healthy expectations from the people in your life. But before we do that, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, here on this channel, I talk about how you can find your passion and go after it at any age, how you can find balance even at the most difficult times in your life, and how you can be happy with the things and the people you already have surrounding you. So if you're interested, make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, let's get to today's topic. So the first thing is that trust is not a virtue. It's not something that you are exercising with your willpower or something that you are putting an effort to. It's just something, you're just expecting another person to be at your service. Because even when you're making an effort in order to convince the other person that you are worthy of their trust, the bottom line is the final say is all about what the other person is thinking and how they will act. And that is something that is completely outside of your control. So you're just gambling with this, you're just hoping that the other person somehow becomes this angel that would just simply fulfill your need. But that's wrong. That's not the way things work. People's relationships are way too complicated for that. And honestly, you expecting people to be at their best and expecting them to be exactly as you picture them in your head would be a little naive on your side, because it just means that you haven't yet fully grasped the idea. You haven't yet understood what it means to be human. And that is that we each have very different upbringings. We have different experiences in life. We have these experiences shape our thoughts and beliefs and actions that we take each day. It also affects our relationships with other people and how we interact with them during those interactions that we have with them. A person is simply a product of these layers of experiences that they've had throughout their life, and to expect them to act differently would be to burden yourself with the illusion of expecting a different result, something different than the person's real intentions. Because you can never know a person's real intentions. You can never know a person, you don't know what they mean. You don't know what's really going on within them. You don't know what they believe. You don't know their thought process. You only know the part of them that they're willing to show you. And for most people, it's just there is this mask that they're wearing, not because they are bad people or they are, going to do something sinister with that, just simply because that's a way of protecting themselves from the outside world. It's just a combination of all these things that they have been through, things that they've done, things that they have observed, things that they have been exposed to. All these things are now culminating in the decisions that they make in their lives. And you can't be responsible for that. Thinking that you can change all these things and get them to do the things you want would be delusional on your side. And this is where a lot of problems arise in people's relationships, whatever type of relationship this may be. And this is when they start feeling these crazy feelings, they have these crazy emotions, and they say these crazy things, I'm the good guy, I trusted you, you're the bad guy, you betrayed me, and all that. But the truth is, you've always known that that person has autonomy to the things that they want to do and decisions that they want to make in life. And you just blindly thought that they would be exactly as you want them at all times, you chose to ignore the fact that this person is a sovereign being capable of making dramatic decisions and developing different interests, opposing the ones that you have for yourself, opposing your interests. Also know that what might be right for you might not be the right thing for another person. It's all about perspective, right? So just stop with your my way or the highway and just let things be and let people be. It's easier on any relationship that you might have, and certainly easier on you. As a precaution to minimize the damage that is done at the end of any relationship, it might be personal or business, whatever relationship this is, you can just remind yourself every day that, not to be emotionally invested, not to be that emotionally invested in anything in your life, because nothing is worth sacrificing your emotional or your mental health. Nothing. Number 2 is things are always changing, and so are people. So it's just the law of nature, everything changes, everything is in motion, everything is moving. And just because you choose to be stuck somewhere or you choose to believe that things and people don't change, it doesn't mean that is actually the case. When I was a cabin crew, I think we were on a flight to Birmingham, or maybe not. But I clearly remember that a passenger had fainted and that one of the crews had made a PA call for a doctor, and that this lady came forward and she did an amazing job, and everyone was just relieved when the guy gained consciousness because, God forbid something bad happens. And, just everyone, the crew and the passengers were surrounding this lady, showing their appreciation. And this one girl decided to approach the lady, to show her appreciation and gratitude. But the first thing that came out of the lady's mouth was, if only my husband of 20 years who left me for a 20-year-old knew that. All this time, people were applauding her. Everyone was just showing their appreciation. She was being flooded by gratitude. The only thing that she could ever think about was that person who betrayed her. Talk about trusting the wrong person. But this is not the wrong person. This is her husband. So what happened here? Why did this guy leave his better half for a younger lady, a curvier lady? I don't know. We don't know if she's curvy. I'm just imagining here. But what happened? It's easy. It's a story as old as time itself. People change. And it's not just humans, everything is in constant motion. It's the animal kingdom, it's the plant kingdom, it's the molecules, protons, neutrons, electrons, they're just in constant motion, probably betraying each other. It's the planets, the stars, the galaxies, the universe, everything is in constant motion. So why should it be any different for us? Why should we make this presence in our minds, just because we don't have this insight or understanding? Why should we be miserable because of our lack of understanding? People will change. Get this through your head. And it doesn't matter what role they're playing in your life, they will change and do things, and sometimes do things that might be devastating to you. But, the solution to this, the secret is to be aware of this fact and maintaining this awareness within you at all times. Have a little note with you if you have to, because there's just a lot of things out there, this illusion, this fantasy that you have of the world, of people, that can keep you blinded, that can keep you blind to the truth, to the reality that's out there. You have to remind yourself that the good times will be good times, but at the same time, you have to know the reality about nature and the reality of life and people. It doesn't mean that it's not going to hurt. It doesn't mean that you don't need some time to heal and recuperate after something major happens in your life. So you just have to give yourself some time to heal. But at the same time, that awareness has to run, at the back of your head at all times. You have to be able to, know that this is not your fault. You did not create this. It is something that you have to deal with as far as the outside world is concerned, because the only thing you could ever control, the only thing that you could ever do something about, really, truly, is your own thoughts and actions. But the actions of other people, you have to have a different approach to them. No amount of force, no amount of pressure, no amount of convincing is going to, convince people to act otherwise. So just let them, let them run with the money that they stole from you. It's definitely their karma. Let them run with the 20-year-old who will lose her curves soon enough and will not have anything to offer. Let them talk and gossip behind your back. That is your power. You simply let go, and you simply don't have any expectations of people. This way, you will enjoy it and appreciate it when they are trustworthy, and you'll just be okay when they're not, because that's not up to you. Number 3 is that people are not always honest. Duh! People are dishonest for many different reasons. So they could be going through a tough time, a difficult time in their lives, and this may be their way of solving the problem. This may be their way of dealing with the problem. So they might promise things or do crazy things for that. Or they could be people who are easily influenced by outside factors, and that's just who they are. Or they could just be, liars. There are people who lie about things that they don't even need to lie about. That's just the way they are. That's how they have operated throughout their lives, and it's not going to change anytime soon. So you have to know that there are people who are just simply dishonest, and they thrive on that for them in their heads. This could be due to trauma or unresolved issue and all that. You just have to show compassion by realizing that everyone is fighting their own battle within their own lives. The secret is not to make their battles your battle too. Just don't fall for the trap of people's unhealed trauma, because you're not helping them, and you're most definitely not helping yourself.